Today is February 3rd, 2016. It's 10:02. Let the record reflect that all three commissioners are present, and I call this meeting of the Monongalia County Commission to order. Would everyone please rise for a moment of silent meditation and pledge to the flag. Thank you.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, consent and approval. Renetta?
We have 8 exoneration listings this morning for $1,440.39. Fiduciary matters, there's 3 different issues. We have fiduciary orders February 3rd, 2016, and then an exemplified copy certification of will for Betty J. Six Estate, and then the matter of the Jody Hunt Estate. So I didn't know how you wanted to proceed on that.
We'll keep the Jody Hunt estate separately.
Yeah.
We'll deal with that.
Okay.
Let's just deal with the general fiduciary orders.
Okay.
Move. Oh, go ahead. I thought you were done.
Do you want to do the fiduciary
Yeah.
on the separate?
Yes, please.
Okay, sorry. We have general county vouchers, $232,761.88. 911 cash, $1,347.10. Chestnut Ridge Park, $335.51. Camp Muffley, $2926.93. Mason-Dixon Park, $133.45. Purchasing card vouchers, general county, $12,251.99. Magistrate Court, $49. 911, $206.65. Home confinement, $9,232.46. Camp Muffley, $352.05. Mason-Dixon Park, $165.26. Assessor's valuation, $151.38, for a total of $259,913.66. We have budget revisions for the general fund. We're increasing state grants and also increasing state grant receipts for $18,431 for the money that's received from the records preservation grant. And then we have one new employee that you will introduce here shortly.
We'll get to the employee in a second. Do I have a motion on the generals?
Move for approval of everything except the Jody Hunt situation.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, aye. No one opposed. Motion passed. Okay, all right, let's go to the fiduciary order on application of Jody Hunt. Well, actually, it's Jody Hunt Estate. The application is by Gary Solomon. It's filed a petition. Gary Solomon is present.
Yes,
Sir,
sir.
okay. Is anyone else on this issue of the Jody Hunt Estate here? I know your sister's here, Gary, that's fine. But anyone other than that is here on the issue of the petition of removal that was filed by Mr. Solomon as one of the creditors. I can't see her name right here. What's her name?
Ruth Ann Hunt.
Ruth Ann Hunt. Oh, there it is. Okay, Ruth Ann Hunt. Is anyone here on that issue? Okay, in that case, what we're going to do, Gary, is we have the petition in front of us. Would you just please stand and sort of state your grounds and basis to support your petition? We've got the specific information here, and if your sister has anything to add, you could also offer that. But first, start out by giving your name and address, please.
What's that, sir?
First, start out by giving your name and address.
Okay, it's Gary Solomon, 1542 Fairmont Road.
Okay.
That's Morgantown, 26505.
Okay. Then just basically tell us why you believe the removal was the proper thing for this county commission to do.
Well, my sister and I, we own the property, and we filed credit liens on the property. It's sitting there vacant. I have people who want to rent it, And, you know, it's tied up in litigation so much. And if someone doesn't step forward and get things started, it's never going to happen.
Okay, thank you, that's sufficient, thank you. I'm sorry, I knew your name enough. Cindy, I'm sorry, Cindy, I apologize. At least I'm honest about not remembering your name. Cindy, did you have anything you want to offer or add to that?
Oh, I don't think so. I think that's probably sufficient.
Okay. I'm going to offer it to the commissioners now. As he states in here, no appraisements has been done, nothing else, no response. We've also been advised by the clerk's probate person that, or estate person, that she's totally unresponsive. That Ruth Ann Hunt is totally unresponsive. One of two things that we can do is we could grant a removal and then try to inquire of the sheriff and others, but I've already inquired of the sheriff, and as I've mentioned before, there's a conflict of interest that he could not possibly handle this estate either. Now, under the code section, it allows us to appoint a creditor, of which, Mr. Solomon, you are one of the creditors. And if you would be willing to accept the appointment, what's called administrator of DBA, CBA, CTA, as the administrator of this estate, that could move it along faster. And of course, you'd have a fiduciary obligation to account for everything, which I'm sure you would do anyway, but it would speed up the process of selling the estate. Would you be willing to do that, sir?
Yes, sir.
Okay. There will be a bonding requirement that's required by statute. I prefer not to, but it's required by statute. And I have a list of local insurance agents. We would set the bond at the minimum allowed by statute, which is $50,000. Also, I'll give this to you, the different agents, and Judy downstairs can also help you fill out the necessary paper to accept this. I need two motions, or actually we could do it in one.
Yeah. Move to support the petition and name.
And remove.
To remove.
To remove her, we need
Right.
to name Mr. Gary Solomon
Right.
as an administrator CTA and place the bond at a minimum of $50,000.
So moved.
Second.
Okay. Thank you. Any further discussion? A motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion passed unanimously. Mr. Solomon, I'll give you this. It is official now. You are the administrator of this estate. You can take the necessary steps to process the estate and complete, not only protect your interest, but any other creditor's interest. Do you have any questions or anything at this time?
The only thing, I don't think there's any money left in that. I think she has drawn the accounts all dry.
Well,
And
that
first
as
thing we
the
have to do is get the power on the building and go from there.
well, as the administrator, and Judy will give you a book, you have a right to go back and try to recollect that and bring that money back into the estate.
Okay.
Okay? Yes, and
I actually have a question.
yes.
Is he just the administrator for the Jody Hunt estate? What, is he also going to be the administrator for, there's actually two different entities. You have J and J Towing, which is an LLC.
That
So,
Okay.
is he going to be administrators for both of them?
it's most likely. It's dependent upon the ownership relationship of the corporations or the limited liability corporations with the estate. if Jody Hunt was the sole owner of all the stocks and interest in that, then yes, you would have complete power and authority over that, because as the administrator, you would have control over that stock and voting rights within that company. And if you control the majority, and if the estate controls the majority of it, you'd be just like any voter, any other stockholder. They have the right to vote and control the company. Now, if you're a minority, if it's minority stock, you still have the right to exercise your same voting powers and the same things that you would be authorized as any stockholder of that company. So that's the best answer I could give, because I don't know the specifics, but that's how that operates. And she'll explain downstairs that as the administrator, you have full authority to go back and analyze everything that's been done with the estate since the time of Jody Hunt's death. That helpful? Okay. There's one other thing that I'd like to add as an additional motion that may be helpful in the future for Mr. Solomon, if there are some difficulties in accounting and finding out what exactly happened to this. It is unlikely that Ruth Ann Hunt will comply with an order to complete an accounting.
Right.
However, I believe it would be the proper thing to do to have a motion to give her 30 days to submit an accounting to Mr. Solomon and to this county commission, which, even though she doesn't comply, that will be another basis by which Mr. Solomon can try to force information on this estate. Do I have?
Also move that.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion to give Ruth Ann Hunt 30 days to submit an accounting to Mr. Solomon and to us. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passed. Thank you. Hopefully it will work out. I know it's been a difficult time, but at least procedurally we're on the right track now. Thank you for accepting this estate also. Okay, do we have any other fiduciary matters we have to deal with? Introduction of new employees.
Good morning.
Come
I'm
on
Jay
up.
Zink from Monongalia County Services here in Morgantown. I have a new employee, pending. She's going to do weekends. Jessie came to us as an intern last year. So she did her entire internship, and then she started as a relief worker doing part-time. And we have a weekend position vacate, so it would be wonderful if it would be approved for her to be on board as a member.
So move.
Second.
Have a motion second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passed unanimously. Congratulations.
And I would appreciate if you just stay around for also when Danny Trejo speaks, because I think this
Yes.
community needs to see the two basic and most important programs that the county has right now for youth programs. And I think people need to understand how much you do for us. And I think it'd be good that both of you are here when he makes that presentation. Thank you.
Does that have anything to do with the fact that you're on the board?
We're both on the board. Yeah. No, I'm very honored. Very
Yeah,
honored.
we've both been
Yeah.
on the Youth Services Center for, you from the inception and
Yeah.
me for 25 plus years, so.
Yeah, I started it
It's
with
not- It was separate and
Judge Starcher,
Tony Brill.
Tony Brill,
Tony
and
Brill was the.
Bader, and one other, and I did that when I was in college, so that was back in the 70s. So I'm very pleased the direction we're going, and I'm hoping that we will be moving in the future out to Milan Park with a new building, and that's the next step. Knock on wood.
Okay, thank you. Any position vacancies for boards and authorities? We have any to announce today?
No.
Do we have, we still have some posted on the
Yes,
website?
on our website,
So,
yes. I do need to clarify one thing, though. There were two positions, that would be vacated February 1st for the MECA Policy Board. But I spoke with Mike yesterday, and those are specific to certain organizations by their bylaws. So we're gonna amend that on our website to make sure that people don't apply that wouldn't qualify in the first place. So just wanted to make that.
Did I not qualify?
No.
That's a nice way of saying you didn't qualify.
Sorry.
But we will keep you.
No raise for you?
Yeah,
The two positions were a representative from the volunteer fire departments,
Okay.
which was Gary Renner, his term expired, and then Larry, I can't think of his last name. Springer from Mon EMS. So it had to be somebody from emergency services and somebody from the volunteer fire departments would be the two positions that
Do
are
I need
vacant.
to bring that up at the next volunteer fire department meeting to reinforce that?
I think that would be
Yeah, I
good.
think that would be
If you
good,
would
yeah.
do that, that would be good.
Yeah.
Everyone else is in place?
Yes,
Okay, you're in place?
yes.
Okay. And I get stuff as president too. but- Okay.
Tell them. No, I'm mad.
What?
I'm proud about the whole thing.
He's an active member of Greenville.
He is an active member, so that would
Well,
The
allow,
association normally, the fire association normally appoints
Yes.
someone.
So we'd ask them to appoint you.
This association.
Okay.
Yeah, man.
I had
are you willing, are you still willing to serve on behalf of the firemen as the appointment?
Did you not ask Gary if he was gonna continue?
yeah, yeah, and he's submitted a letter that yes, he is going to,
Okay,
that he would like to.
okay.
So, we like to keep it as open as possible. If
Exactly.
anybody,
I had nothing to do with it.
And another check thing off my list.
Another check.
Another vote I just lost.
Okay, comments from the public. Open session, comments from the public. Anybody from the public, anybody want to stand up and say anything? Just identify yourself. Going once, gone twice. Comments from the public is closed. Renetta Grins.
did you do your wrist exercises?
Oh, Lord.
Wow.
All right.
Here we go. Signing.
We have about 6 months worth of requests for the JJDP grant, also for MAYSP. The state was very, very, very slow to get us the actual documents so that we could proceed with the reimbursement requests. So we have received those, and I have 6 months worth starting in July, August, September, October, November, and December. And they are all for $1,721.37 a piece. And I would just ask your signature on all those.
Move for approval for his signature.
Second,
Have
Is that
motions?
blue?
No. This one should be, I got it back. Is that blue?
No. There you go.
Ah, someone switched it on me.
Yeah, someone took mine too.
I'm colorblind, so I wouldn't know anyway. Yeah, okay. Not totally colorblind. If I'd have missed one more on the eye chart, I would have been able to serve in the military. So I was close enough to know when to stop and to yield. That's about it.
I interrupted your motion. Sorry. Your vote.
We never
Oh,
voted.
thank you. I have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passed. Thank you.
I also have some items that were signed by myself because they needed to be sent
Deadline
to
items.
Charleston for deadlines, yes. We have the Day Report Center grant for December, $17,093.56. The VOCA grant also, these are all December, by the way, $5,181.99. We have alcohol transfer funds from the Governor's Highway Safety, $1,260.63. The DUI grant, $836.32. And then we have several of those Governor's Highway Safety with no activity for the month of December. We have Safe Communities, Click It or Ticket, Impaired Driving, Traffic Data Systems, and Distracted Driving.
Now, all those you signed because of deadline requirements?
Yes, and also I have one more.
Oh,
The
okay.
Emergency Solutions Grant. This funds the Bartlett House and Connecting Link for the month of December, $25,261.29. That's all.
Do I have a motion to endorse her signatures?
So moved.
Second.
Motion and second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passed. Thank you.
I do have one more grant item.
Okay.
At this time, I think it's probably good to go ahead and give the reins to Colleen. She's been doing a great job. I've been training her, doing the grants, so I think it's time now that we approve that she be, the signer on the documents
coordinators.
and the grant requests and all that stuff. So, with your approval.
I move that she becomes the grant coordinator with that, and be able to sign the forms.
Second.
Okay, I just want to make it clear, we're not making a new position.
Right.
No,
We're just
The duty.
expanding the duties of the existing
Exactly.
position to include grant coordinator.
that's correct.
Is everyone, that's the motion?
Yes.
Okay, I have a motion and second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passed. Thank you.
Thank you.
We gotta save money if we can. Whatever we can. Okay. Mr. Trejo, Danny Trejo, Morgantown Area Youth Services Project, presentation of the CDBG HUD grant application for 2016-17 funding. If you would just, I already stated your name, but you tell your address here in Morgantown, I guess, for the record, or maybe Janet has it already. Janet has it already? Okay.
This is our 10th year, I believe, of the applying and getting, well, hopefully we'll get it this year, the city HUD grant, and it's to work with juveniles and young adults that have substance abuse problems. So hopefully we'll get it again this year. This is the...
Is there a resolution with that?
no, not on this one.
Okay, if you just bring it up here. Can I get a motion to authorize me to sign this grant?
I so move that we authorize the president to sign the grant.
Second.
I have a motion and a second, any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passed.
Are you going to talk about, or did you want to say anything else about it or not, or it's up to you?
Well, just that we're still hanging in there. We had a lot of funding cuts. There were 7 of us social workers at one time.
Right.
We're down to 3 now, but we're still trying and getting, writing grants and developing programs. And, actually, back in the early 90s, I used to work at the Youth Services Center. And also on the
I'm
board
gonna
now.
read this.
Yeah.
But other than that, just thank you, and we'll keep working with the teams and the youth in the county as best as we
Yeah,
can.
we appreciate all your work. Just so that everyone's aware what this is about, I'm just going to read your brief description on the front of this. The MASAP project operates under the fiscal administration of the Monongalia County Commission. MASAP provides anti-poverty intervention services to low-income youth families living in the Morgantown area experiencing delinquency, underage drinking, substance abuse problems, related crime behavior, and homelessness. The proposed community grant funded program will provide intervention services to 85 low-income youth and young adults living in the city of Morgantown with the goal of reducing the aforementioned problems. The funding request is for $14,800. So that's clear. Do you need this? Okay.
Yeah.
And I just appreciate your support, because without the partnership between MASAP and the County Commission, we couldn't get some of these grant sources.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And I want to get clear, when we first started this back in the
96.
Yeah, I was a counselor at University High, and you were working Scotch Run, and we began it in the Scotch Run area. Then it became a countywide project, and unfortunately, the one area that the state is saying that we are having a problem with, everyone keeps talking about things about drug abuse and concerns in the southern part of the state. We have a very large population that we have to work with, and between the Youth Services Center, MAYSP, and I know the 3 county commissioners were adamant on trying to provide programs. I also want to say that Danny is too modest to say that he and Janelle Revolt do this at, tell them your salary.
In order to...
Tell them what you were making and what we did.
In order for the program to survive, we cut our salaries in half, and working full-time and getting half-time pay until we get the agency back on its feet.
Right. So we are continually, yeah, I mean, it is an enormous benefit, and at the same time, I just hope, and I know the three commissioners, do want to support this, and will continue to work with you on that. I think, there's certain programs you don't want to cut, and this is an area that the community needs. This is an area that is wanted, and as you said, at one time, it was almost $250,000 in 7 councils. We hired street counselors, and unfortunately, this is an area that both groups, people do not want to deal with, and it is very sad, but we do an amazing job, and I can't say enough. I mean, I'm honored to not only be on the board, but to have people like MJ and you, to be a part of this program. And I personally want to thank you in front of the public, because this is something we don't like to promote, because you don't want to promote, the kids don't want to be promoted, but at the same time, MAYSP is a nationally honored and recognized award program, and is a model, and it is the only one in the state and one of the few in the country where they are allowed to work with the judicial system and the court system, whereas everyone's kept separate. They are the only ones allowed to be the integral part of it, and that's unbelievable. So I don't know if others want to say.
Well, I was a magistrate in 95, 96 when you all started it. And
Wow.
And it was very, it was a much needed program. I know the magistrates were very, very thankful for that program, and the ability to assign some of those problems that came before us to you to help solve that. So I would add my thanks from a personal, first-hand basis.
Tim, thank you for your service.
Thanks a lot.
It's a lot of sacrifice for our youth. Really appreciate it.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Okay. Michael Wolf, Director, HSEMA and Mecca 911, report on Winter Storm Jonas. Has Jonas died now? Is he gone?
Jonas, hopefully he never comes back.
Who are the brothers?
Unofficially, Jonas is right now unofficially the second largest snowfall record storm for Monongalia County. We're working on some of the areas that potentially may touch the first place, but we don't think we quite made it. It'll be very, very close. I just wanted to give you a brief, I say brief, but there's some important things to touch on so that you're fully aware, and the community is fully aware of what we actually do during these types of events. We started on Tuesday, January the 19th, participating in statewide weather calls and monitoring briefings. We started at that point updating safety, public safety, community partners, and our social media to the public to give them warning and public information. Excuse me. On Wednesday, January the 20th, Governor Tomlin issued a statewide state of preparedness. And as many people, this is really only about the second year that this has occurred, as it was passed in 2014. It allows state resources and to trickle down into the county level, local level, to start moving and mobilizing necessary resources to deal with the storm. On Thursday, we coordinated a countywide virtual situation briefing, which had participation from the National Weather Service in Pittsburgh, used the county commissioners, Morgantown City Manager and Public Relations, Morgantown Police and Fire Department, Mon County Sheriff's Department, Mon EMS, Star City Fire and EMS, Cheat Lake, Triune Halleck, Blacksville, and Granville Volunteer Fire Departments, as well as the City Manager, Mon Health Department, American Red Cross, WVU Hospitals, Mon General Hospital, the DOH, a representative from Director Jeanette of the State Homeland Security Office, County Maintenance and Facilities, and the Morgantown Area Rescue Group, which that is one of the largest, since I've been here, groups that we've had collaboratively coming together to plan. On that date, on Thursday, I requested a declaration of a local county state of emergency, which you graciously accepted.
That was that's one of the only duties other than conducting the meeting that the president of the commission has. Other than that, I'm not allowed to do anything else. And that's after you tell me that it's so bad, you better do it.
We need it.
So.
Well done. After that declaration was declared, our staff was able to designate warming station areas ahead of time and pre-alert the community that we'd be using Blacksville Volunteer Fire Department, Cheat Lake Volunteer Fire Department, and the bingo hall behind the town of Granville as warming stations as needed. The personnel from my office started moving pallets. We moved 2 pallets of MREs from Preston County to those warming stations ahead of time, and 1 pallet of water that was donated to us by a joint partnership between Walmart, University Town Center, and the Coca-Cola Corporation. We also went into a public-private partnership agreement at that time, established between views of the commission, my office at WVU, and a private contractor, Anderson Excavating, to maintain 3 routes that was designated as emergency medical routes and into both hospital facilities. On Friday the 22nd, I activated the county's Emergency Operations Center to a level 1, which was manned by my staff. The emergency management staff itself consists of 2. It's myself and Jimmy Smith. We are the only emergency managers or emergency management staff. We had 2 other additional personnel, which is considered 911 staff, that acts as dual roles during these times of emergency that joined us. And then we increased our 911 personnel staffing to handle call load as needed. For the first time in our history as a county, we conducted a virtual emergency operations center. We used what's called the Homeland Security Information Network, HSIN, and Adobe Connect, and it allowed members of the community, or not members of the community, department heads, use county commissioners, the state, all to monitor real-time information throughout the event. On the 23rd, we deployed personnel from my agency as well as Star City Volunteer Fire Department on 2 separate occasions into Preston County at the request of their emergency management director to assist with rescuing motorists who were stranded in vehicles in very deep snow. We currently house a all-terrain UTV type vehicle that has snow tracks on it that's owned by the state. It's used mainly for radio tower sites that's hard to get to in the winter. But we were able to use that piece of equipment to rescue several stranded motorists within Preston County. From the 22nd to the 25th, we used the West Virginia National Guard 3 times to assist in access and help remove patients within Monongalia County that were having life-threatening emergencies that EMS and the local fire department was unable to access. And we also utilized them once to deliver oxygen to a patient who had less than 24 hours of oxygen available, and we were unable to access their residence due to the snow and roadways. One of our big achievements that went a little above and beyond what we typically do is we helped coordinate on Friday night a very critical stroke patient from Braxton Memorial Hospital back to WVU Hospital. They had no 4-wheel drive vehicles available. They were all out on calls. The road conditions were extremely treacherous, if not potentially deadly, obviously. And so WVU Hospital called me, Roger Osborne, who's the director of safety, and asked what could be done. This patient critically needed to be here. So we coordinated with Braxton Memorial Hospital, JanCare. We ended up having to, HealthNet was unavailable, obviously, to fly. They'd already sent their staff home, but luckily there was an available staff member who was needed. Just a regular paramedic could not transport this patient. There needed to be a doctor or a nurse. That person came from home, met the ambulance on the interstate, went and picked the patient up and brought him back to Morgantown. And they successfully are okay today. We also coordinated 2 other critical patient transports out of Preston County into WVU hospitals with the help of DOH and that emergency medical route of making sure that that roadway was clear. I issued 3 emergency roadway clearing declarations to the Department of Highways, and what that is, it's in order for them to leave the main route in order to access either a private drive or a private area. That has to be approved. We had multiple requests from the public about getting personal driveways cleared and personal roadways cleared. So we took extra steps to ensure that what we were issuing because of the situation was valid. And 2 of those were for emergent dialysis treatments that were absolutely needed the next day, and 1 for an emergency cornea transplant. We concluded our EOC operations on Sunday at 1 p.m. So we started Friday morning at 7:30 a.m. and was there until 1 p.m. on Sunday. But we remained on an alert level through Tuesday, taking multiple calls, responding to public requests, and continuing to issue those public information statements. And currently, we are working with local government and response agencies to determine extraordinary costs associated with the storm, to see if we meet a criteria if a presidential declaration is determined. That's all I have for the storm.
Thank you. I also want to recognize Judge Clodges. He's our chief judge in the circuit. On Sunday, the clearing was slow. They were doing the best they can, but where do you put 45 inches of snow or 40 inches of snow? I consulted with commissioners from surrounding counties, Marion County, Preston County, Harrison County, and with DOH as well. And even though it appeared that Monday some people could get in, it was recognized by the DOH as a major problem to open up everything on Monday because the roads were not ready. And Sunday afternoon, we only had half of the secondaries hadn't even been touched yet. I know from Preston County, none of the secondaries had been touched. So with Judge Clodges and myself and the other commissioners, Harrison, Marion, and Preston, along this route, felt it was necessary to keep everything closed again on Monday. Not that some people couldn't get in, but the bad situation that would be created by having something open that people felt they had to get to. So, and Judge Clodges recognized that as why he also agreed with that closure. So I want to recognize all our staff. Our county staff is exemplary, from MECA 9-1, from our people at the commission, throughout the county. I mean, they're very dedicated. You all are very dedicated and very committed to doing what's best for the citizens, and I really want to pass that thanks on to all our staff here at the commission, all the sheriffs, and of course MECA 911, and we have support from the municipalities. There's others I would thank, but they're not here, so I'm just going to recognize the ones that are here. Granville has always stepped up. Their fire department has always stepped up and did extra during these times. So I wanted to give my personal thanks to all of you and all the people that dealt with this situation. I had to drive to Washington, D.C. because they weren't canceling that meeting down there of some 900 and some people, and we ran into 10-foot snowbanks getting down there, so it was pretty bad.
Yeah, a couple things last week. Ed and I wanted to thank you, and we did publicly thank you at the meeting, that you and your staff, as I called it, a very proactive program. A suggestion I'd like to make is, once things calm down, I'd like to have a meeting with everyone to talk about the positive, how we can improve things, and what, if there was anything that went wrong. Also, the other area that we had talked about was the possibility of a list of possible companies that might be on call that would want to clear the road, and we would have a set cost so they can't, make their own money. But I mean, those are the kind of things. But I'm going to tell you, I was on that special call-in line that you had on the computer, and when I had a problem, one of the good things of Facebook was they sent it directly to me, I sent it to you, and it was amazing how it was done and resolved quietly, but the emergencies were taken care of. One of the other things I do want to say that I have to report, and I'm thrilled with what we were doing with the emergency management system and the updated system that we had to do, but I have a little concern, and I want to read from the newspaper. In fact, it was Ben's article about the concern about the city and the cost of the program. And Nancy Gans was quoted as saying, "I pay the same amount for county taxes as I do city taxes, and for those city services," talking about 911. "The city separately provides police, separately provides fire, and has agreement that if they need our help, we give it to them," Gans said. "I just feel over and over again as a city resident I'm being double taxed for services. This to me is taxation for a service that county residents get." And I'm always reminded every time I start to do this, I hear Eldon in my ear going, the county is an arm of the state government. The city chooses to organize and be a part separately. And it infuriates me that this continually happens. So we've had a gentleman's agreement for years, even when I was on city council, and it appears that this agreement is really deteriorating. What I'm looking now for is different ways, because we've lost so much money in the $1.2 million. And in fact, I just saw today that the concealed carry just passed without a permit, which is another $50,000 to $100,000 that the county loses, that we need to start protecting the county residents. What I'm going to ask you to do is monitor very closely that when we have this increase of 911 enhancement that is separate from dispatching, that every city and county is going to pay their fair share. And I know one of the programs that's coming up later is the franchise agreement, which we're going to use some of the funds to go. Ed made a great suggestion of going to help pay for the future costs. Well, I think the city and the county should be paying that fair share, and that's something that I would like you to monitor and watch. And when we come up with that cost, we're going to share it with the cities. I think it's something that, I'm going to call it the Nancy Gans law, that she wants to start separating everything. I think this is just the beginning of what we're going to have to do, and it's truly, truly unfortunate. There's several other issues that I will come up with later on today where we're going to start looking at separating the costs and basically saying that if our funds are going to the city, which is fine, and I accept that, then they also will be coming back. One of the things I will tell you right now that I'm going to request to be put on, since Sheriff Captain Palmer, there was a slip, I apologize. Positive. Chief Palmer, thank you. That I want, we're in budget time, we just have the cities pay a percentage of the cost of transporting to North Central. I want that reevaluated. I think we're doing 25%. We can't do that anymore. I think we're going to have to start getting a closer cost to the cities of that cost. So I'd appreciate if you would pass that on to the sheriff during budget time to consider it. These are the things we're now going to have to do. So, and I'll leave it at that. But going back, it was great. I really think it was an unbelievable proactive meeting, and I hope you continually do that. Sorry, Ed.
Oh, that's okay.
Go ahead.
I would just like to congratulate you. Collaborative and cooperation does work. Fine example. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Okay, we got a list here for an executive session. We'll delay that until afterwards. Let's move on to correspondence. Requisition for payment number 16, Star City Project number 1, TIF Revenue Bond Series 2012.
Move for approval for payment.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passed. Thank you. Okay, second thing on correspondence, letter from Phil Megro, Assistant Prosecuting Attorney, regarding the Commission's request for an opinion on minutes taken at the Commission meetings and work session.
I'll go ahead.
Well, if you want to, if you want to go ahead. I was going to say something, but I'll wait.
I did make the motion to change the way that actually to begin having our work sessions minuted and recorded. It was passed. We did actually, and have been doing this, I believe, for 6 weeks. I haven't seen a interruption or a lack of reason not to continue it, but it has been discussed, and seeking an opinion of Mr. Megro, the opinion is that he gave a minimum opinion. In other words, the minimum amount of work that would need to be done. And my point is really, this is Monongalia County. I think that the minimum is not something that you should strive for. I believe you should do the best that you could possibly do. In 4-H, the motto is to make the best better. I think we have one of, if not the best county, and I think the public is deserving of knowing what goes on, even in our work sessions.
I would like to make a
Go ahead.
motion.
Go
I'd like to move that we take the recommendation from our staff attorney to do the following, that the minutes of a work session would include the following 4 items: the date, time, and place of the meeting, the name of each member in the governing body present and absent, the purpose of the work session with a copy of the agenda, and the name of any individual who may be speaking at the work session.
I appreciate the motion, but let's talk about this, the letter. I address everything from a legal standpoint. I did that before I was a lawyer, so after I became a lawyer, it's even harder not to address everything from a legal standpoint.
Before I get on, so we don't get a problem, so it dies for a lack of a second or not? Because I have a motion on the floor.
I haven't made that. I'm the one that rules that. You don't rule that.
I'm asking you.
I am the chair.
I'm
Nothing has done yet. I'm the chair. I decide whether it's time that there's a lack of a second. Not you. That's why I'm the chair.
And that's correct, and I'm asking, we
Okay.
can't speak on it unless there's a second.
That is not true. That is absolutely not true. That is there is different rules for small group meetings. That's what disturbs me. People read one little thing and then they try to apply it to everything. There's exceptions to small group meetings. Yeah. I don't like to do that, but
That's all
that
right.
was just out of order there. Okay, now, when you read his ruling, or his recommendations, basically what he finds is what we're doing now is proper. It's a right way to do things. And of course, we've already dealt with the employee aspects, and that's taken care of. Those are not part of the work session because they require special protection because of the employer-employee relationship. So the question is on the minutes. And here, it does say minimum. And my point is a point of order. The minimum is already required by statute. Therefore, there is no need to make a motion to do the minimum, because that's already required. That would be like making a motion to outlaw DUI on the streets of Monongalia County. That's already the law. We don't need a motion for that. Secondarily, so that's my point of order.
Okay.
I think the motion as you made it is not proper because it is just repeating what the statute already says.
Okay.
In terms of what we accept as minutes, I think has become a breakdown between us and the clerk. And I want to have the clerk up here to talk about the way minutes are to be done. These are our minutes. What we include or not include in any minutes or a case-by-case situation that I believe should be decided case by case. And the problem that I see that's come up about the minutes is that minutes are not supposed to be a transcript or attempt to be a transcript. For the very reason is because when you attempt to be a transcript, it is not really what was said. It's the person who's taken the notes interpretation of what was said. That's why it's in the rules of order, Roberts, or any other rules of order you want to adopt, that minutes are confined to actual actions and/or other information that one of the elected body wants to put in the minutes. I think that, A, we don't need that motion. Any attempt to make a motion to modify it after reading his interpretation would actually be nullified by later motions on the minutes. So when the minutes come up, we either accept the minutes or we amend the minutes, and we vote on them each and every time. That's my interpretation of what he wrote. And it's not that it dies of lack of second. My point is, it's an improper motion.
Okay.
You understand that, Tom?
Yeah, I understand it.
Okay. So my suggestion on this is to keep things the way we are, but we need to have a sit down with Ms. Blaney. And it came to my attention when there was something written in the minutes that totally misinterpreted, not only misinterpreted, applied it to an individual that there was no basis in fact to apply it to, but it was the interpretation of the note taker. That kind of stuff doesn't belong in the minutes.
That's correct.
So, but those kind of things we have to deal with each minute, each group of minutes when it come up based on the actual meeting. So that's my feeling about it. Tom, you want to say anything further?
The only thing I want to say is, the only reason why I was trying to clarify this for future commissioners is that there's no other governmental body that does more than those 4 steps, which is what you're saying, unless a individual asks it to be part of the record of the minutes. And that's why I was trying to put it into for clarification. But I understand what you're trying to say, and I do like the idea that, you know, let's meet and try and resolve this issue and move forward. Thank you.
Ed?
Perfectly acceptable. You
Okay.
need a motion to,
No, we're fine.
Okay.
I made an interpretation from the chair, and the only need for a motion is if you want to overrule my interpretation.
perfectly acceptable.
Okay. All right. Receipt of coal severance tax for October, December 2015. Renetta.
Yes, the chief tax deputy graciously just made us copies of the receipts, and we were glad to see those, and we just wanted to make sure that those were put into record. That way everybody knows that we did receive the checks.
Okay, it's come up a little bit.
A little bit.
5,000.
They estimated us about 180,000, but it did come up a little bit.
Just slightly.
How much are we in deficit right now if we pay in the bills out of the general?
Roughly 109,000,
Okay, so we'll be able to immediately.
yes.
Okay, I think that needs to be in the records.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. Any further correspondence at this time?
No, sir,
Okay, unfinished business.
I do not have any.
I have 3 items.
Under what?
Unfinished business.
Unfinished business,
Good news.
okay.
Okay, the
Go
first
ahead.
good news, I met with the PACE officials, and Bobby Doyle was with us. They are thrilled about the possibility of coming, using the cashier's office at the magistrate downstairs that's being unused. And we're looking right now just once a week. And they not only are going to do that, but they are going to offer the same service and have the individuals, will have menus for the people up here. So if they wanted it, they will bring them food up here. And we're trying not only to employ more people, but they said this could be several more people that they can employ through PACE, so it's just a win-win situation. So they will come before us and ask for permission, because I said that, you know, we would need to prove it, and that's what I said. You gave me the permission as long as they came. And it's just a real positive thing. The second thing I'd like to do is, at a future work session, it could be this one or the week after, I would really like to discuss the situation with considering moving the family court back to the magistrate court, and discussing the lack of response that we're getting from the state Supreme Court, and look what our options are. And that's all I'm asking, just to see what our options are and how to move that. And that would just put on a work session. And the final one is more a clarification and just wondering, I know we're getting close. Have you heard any more, Ed, about the 4-H, what is it, the food situation at all? Have you heard, I mean, we don't, yeah. Just
My
don't-
last communication was that the one cook was not available for lack of labor. I have one more group that is still out there that has not reported. So
Okay.
I will call
Great.
Becca. I'll call her today. and
Okay, 'cause I
see
know it's
if-
getting close.
I understand. Otherwise,
Okay.
we'll have to go and make a bid.
I know.
Or
Yeah,
put a request for-
what's our deadline when we have to get a RFP out?
Well,
If we-
you know, there's
what-
no
what do you
camps,
think?
there's no camps that are actually scheduled to begin until the second week of June.
Okay, so if we
So we
get it
have
out,
some time.
if we get
Okay.
out sometime in March, we'd still be
Yes.
good?
Yes,
Okay, good.
Okay, thanks, I appreciate that.
no problem.
Thanks for that, okay.
Okay, any further unfinished business?
No.
Okay, new business. To consider requesting the West Virginia Public Service Commission to relinquish franchise authority rights back to Monongalia County Commission. Renetta, you want to speak on this,
Yeah.
I
please?
have a letter prepared. We met with Comcast representative last week about the franchise, a possible franchise agreement. But I had also received contact from Tara Gilkey from the Public Service Commission, and Comcast had been in touch with them as well, that they were going to meet with us. So she asked if we would have a letter prepared to be signed. That way, if we do decide to move forward with the franchise agreement, which is the next agenda item, that we would request the Public Service Commission relinquish their rights that we gave to them many years back to be the franchising
Yeah, well,
authority.
we have to renew it every once in a while. I think about 3 years ago, we renewed it once.
No,
The relinquishment, I mean.
must be a different situation. Maybe for a different utility, maybe.
Maybe. All right.
Okay. So I have a letter prepared. Do you want me to read it? Do you
Does
wanna
everyone
just-
have, well, I don't think
all
it
have
necessarily
copies of
needs
it?
to be read. You all have copies of it.
Right.
Already ready.
Do I have a motion on it?
So move.
Second?
And this is to authorize.
And allow him to
Right.
sign the letter too,
Right.
yeah.
A motion and second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passed. Okay. Next issue is,
The actual.
consideration of a franchise agreement with Comcast of Colorado, Pennsylvania, West Virginia LLC. Renetta?
As already stated, Comcast had purchased about a franchise agreement. It is because because of insurance purposes, they have to be able to work on their lines. If somebody would bring suit against them, they wouldn't even have rights to work on their own lines. So in order for them to do that, they have to be into a franchise agreement with the county commission or a municipality. So, because we handle unincorporated areas.
It's like a utility. It's a public service, and it has to be connected with some government body.
And the other thing that we thought was really good, we had learned that if there's areas in Mon County that do not have cable, and they have around 50 homes, we could have always asked, but now with this agreement, they will now have to go out and do it.
Yep.
So that changes the perspective, so maybe we could get some more areas if they are interested.
As well as providing service to the schools.
Yes,
Schools and
Yeah.
county buildings.
and county
County
buildings. So this does have some benefits.
And of course, in that expansion, the issue of broadband is so critical to
Right.
the education and dealing with storms and all. And we certainly, Monongalia County, as progressive we are, we need to do everything we can to advance broadband throughout the county.
And it must be mentioned that pursuant to that, we are allowed to have a fee attached to this as a percentage.
Yes.
Right.
And it can go up to 5%. But I believe that 2% would be a reality that the public would be willing to accept, and in that way, we could also look toward funding some other issues, such as the emergency services that we're going to have to provide.
Yes.
Is that a motion for
I would like
2% and
I would like
adopt
to
the franchise?
adopt this franchise fee as 2%,
Right.
and and allow you to sign the agreement as soon as we get the authority from the Public Service Commission back
Yes.
to allow you to do so.
I second that.
Have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passed unanimously.
Could I ask a question, because I don't know,
Yes.
is there any other utility such as fiber optics, something like that, that's similar to this, that is regulated, that, just in case there may be, rather than just the cable, but are there any other groups? Someone said there might be, and I didn't know, and that's not my area.
When you send that letter down there, we'll talk to
Yeah.
them down there, Public Service Commission. There's one other utility that
That's
we
right.
relinquished to the Public Service Commission. I can't remember what it was.
Okay.
Okay, I'll have to go back and
Yeah,
look.
someone had mentioned it, and it was above my, I
Yeah.
didn't know.
It's,
Okay.
it's,
So just so, I'm,
they'll be able to tell you down
Yeah.
there.
just so I'm clear, you're not gonna sign the franchise agreement until we get
Well, that-
notification from.
Well, we don't,
Public Service
not.
Commission.
You can't sign what you don't have yet.
Well, I understand that,
It's a pursuant to.
And it's 90 days after
yes.
it's
Goes
signed,
into-
so it doesn't go into effect right away, it's
Right.
90 days.
but we ought to be able to get that back pretty.
Yes.
I would think so. So you're authorized to sign it when it comes in?
Yes.
Yes, that's
Yes,
the motion.
that's what the motion
The
is.
motion was for me to sign it as soon as I get that
Okay.
back.
Right.
As soon as we get the franchise back, then
Okay.
I've been authorized to sign it.
Just to be clear.
Okay. All right. To consider request by Catherine Artis, Superintendent, Justice Ridge Park, to set new office hours.
Kat had requested back in November that we take a look at the office hours. And she would like to put those on a seasonal schedule. So spring, summer, fall, and winter, they would have their own set of hours. So for spring, Sunday through Thursday, 9 to 5, Friday and Saturday, 9 to 7. Summer, Sundays, 9 to 5, Monday, Friday, 9 to 7, Saturdays, 9 to 9. Fall, post-Labor Day weekend through Thanksgiving weekend, Sunday through Thursday, 9 to 5. Friday and Saturday, 9 to 7. Winter, post-Thanksgiving weekend through February 28th, Sunday to Saturday. Sunday to Saturday, 9 to 5. Okay, I had to think about that. Okay.
This is basically, the hour, it's listed as the hours, but this is basically something we have similarly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just
Yes.
modified.
We've already
It just-
adopted this, and we're
Right.
just modifying the
Modifying,
hours.
yeah.
Yeah, we
Yes.
typically they would adjust them as to their activities.
Right.
But I think this way, she just wanted to set a schedule and keep it for the whole year, and that way it
Right.
was.
Okay, do I hear anything? on
Motion
that?
to accept the schedule as proposed.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion pass. Okay. Consideration of request by Catherine Artis, Superintendent, Chester Ridge Park, to correct hourly wages for Mary Stafford from $10 per hour to $10.25 per hour, and to make the correction retroactive to June 24th, 2015.
There was some confusion when Ms. Stafford was hired. She was hired as a full-time employee with benefits. On her employment letter, it was stated that 1025. But during the minutes, or in the minutes for the meeting that the Mary Stafford was approved, they set the salary at $20,800 per year. That comes out to $10 an hour. So that's where the confusion is.
Why did they change it?
Well,
Because I remember we approved the letter.
I don't know. I don't know, and I tried to reach Kat, but she was out after we talked last week to her on Wednesday. She was out and didn't get back until, I guess, today, so.
Well, she was previously approved for 1025. That's what was on the letter.
Yes.
That's what was on the letter, yes.
But she
But I
has
think
not
it was
been
just
paid that.
misstated in
Yeah.
the meeting.
Well, why do we have to have, it's almost like what I've already talked, why do we have to have a motion to approve a motion that we already approved?
Because in the records, it's actually $10.
Oh, we're having a motion to correct
Yeah,
the
correct,
record
so it's
to
1025.
reflect
And
what
make
we
it- and
actually
make it-
approved.
Yes.
And make it retroactive.
Yeah,
to
major
the date
retro,
that-
it was our, yeah, it was a little slip up that we made.
Okay, so we need a motion to make a
Mark.
clerical, to correct a clerical error and establish her rate back to
What we'd approved, 1025.
25.
1025, back to June 24, 2015?
Yes,
Yes.
so moved.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second, and now I understand it.
So-
Is there any further questions on it? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passed. Thank you.
That'll make her happy.
Okay, reports, any other new business?
Yeah.
Okay. Reports from elected officials. Sir, or chief, I should say,
No, that's twice now.
you got a badge, I call you sir.
I know.
The only thing I'll say is one thing when you're talking about the snowstorm. We monitored it first couple days, and our department is gracious to Mike and his people, as well as social media. The media, it seemed like they got the word out, pre-planning, and we didn't have a lot of calls. People did stay off the roads for the majority and gave the OH time to clear the main roads. I think everybody needs commended on that. I think everybody did a good job. The second thing, real quick, this month, and the reason why I'm saying this is because my wife's a manager at the Heart Institute, that this month is Go Red for women, to make people know that the number one killer of females is heart attacks and heart disease. So this is United
I
States
think we've
wide.
had a resolution in the past
Really?
on that, but,
Yeah,
yeah.
so we just. they
If she
just
has a
wanna get it out.
resolution, it'd be nice for her to bring it down. We
Okay,
can declare.
I can have that done, and the biggest concern is to have women get checked. and
Right,
be-
right. We like to adopt those resolutions
Okay.
because it publicizes the efforts that everyone's doing on that area.
I can do that.
Great.
That's it.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Snyder? you
No,
got
sir.
anything?
Good today.
Other than irritated for people that threw you off?
We're gonna pay for that.
I put you on
Never got on
things.
it.
I put you on the auditor. Okay, anything from the staff? Nothing? Okay, reports from county commissioners. Ed, you want to start?
Yes, I have 3 items. I will say that the last meeting, we did have a discussion about the purchase that one fire department, the Scotts Run or Cassville, had made. There was an article that Ben did write, but the article was written published 4 days after I had already had the meeting. So I did go on Friday to speak to Cassville, but I spoke to the assistant chief. I didn't speak to the chief. He was there, and I was given all the information to ascertain that everything is very good there. Their department is healthy. This simply was an addition. In other words, they had paid this loan down, so the loan was extended, but they are not extended for any more cash out of pocket. So very helpful also toward the facility. The other question about, whether it's necessary or not, we do anticipate a lot of building going on relative to the West Side development. This is going to be one of the areas that's going to be developed. And if you look just simply, as he said, look up the road. Up the road are the condos at the Meadows. These condos are on a slight hillside grade, no matter what. They're 2.5 stories. So by the time you look at being on the place where you would have to park the truck, then the ladder truck would have a necessity. So I'd just like to report on that. Secondly, congratulations to Animal Friends. I did also read in the paper that they were awarded a grant of $50,000 for their spay and neuter program. That's quite an accomplishment. Lastly, I did represent us, it wasn't an appointment, but I did go to the chamber dinner, which was last Friday, and we did have honor there because the Black Bears were honored, as well as the Sheets and the Mills Group, and Mark Nesselrode as the Man of the Year. So it was a great affair, great community. I think we had almost 500 people in attendance. So it's a far cry. I've gone to the chamber dinner for many, many years now, and it's a far cry from the 200 to 225 that you really need to commend Dan Kimball, his staff, and everything that's going on relative to our chamber good to see it in Monongalia County and Preston County.
Very good, thank you. Tom?
Yeah, three things real quickly. First, tonight at 6:30 to 8:30, we have what I believe is one of the most important meetings facing the future of Monongalia County's direction where the public can be a part of. And again, basically, it's a forum to discuss how do we come up with funds that we've lost through coal severance for non-county agencies. Of that, there's much talk, and there's been some movement, and we've even received the possibility of a levy to be put on the agenda, and that's something three of us will consider. We did find out, though, that if we were to put a levy on for the primary, we would have to state it by February 24th. So I'm just stating that, and that's an if. There's no specifics yet, but that's something we need to look at. But I'm looking forward to a very large turnout tonight. And again, West TV, I'm thrilled to say, will be there to also film it. So they will also have it for the public who won't be there. And that's at the Sheriff's Building tonight. The second thing, I have some interesting and good news. On February 12th at 2 o'clock, there is the final, hopefully, hearing of the Walls Sanitation illegal dump situation out on Mason-Dixon Highway. However, the good news is that last week a flatbed showed up, and they are actually starting to move some of the stuff. I've received numerous calls, thrilled. I don't know how much they're going to move in time, but clearly something has started after 3 years, 2 months, and 2 days. So I want to thank the commission for allowing me to continue this, and to thank the people in the Western End are thrilled that they can actually see some movement that we've talked about. So that's the second thing. And the third thing, final, is I did want to make it clear that after 21 years, I resigned as the University High tennis coach. I believe with this new Mountaineer Center at Milan Park, the aquatic center and track that we're so involved with, I really believe that's going to take a lot of time. And with the budget situation going on, I felt that it was in the best interest to take more of my time for the county commission. It is something that I will surely miss, and I am sure that I want to thank all the people from University High, the parents, the other coaches, that they won't have to put up with my pacing and my winged headbands. So thank you for that.
Thank you. A couple things. We've got the West Virginia Association of Counties at the legislature this coming week. Ed, I think, is going. I'm
Yes.
going. I don't think you're going to this one.
No, I'm going to the one in
You're going
March.
to the March
Yeah.
County Commission. So we'll have representation down there. I'm on the board there as well. As works on the legislative stuff, and we work for all. West Virginia Association of County includes all the county officials. So we have an opportunity to work with the other officials, sheriffs and county clerks and all, with the West Virginia Association of Counties. I look forward to it being a good meeting. I am, let's just say I'm a little disappointed in the legislature at this point, because I haven't seen any movement on bills that actually will change the lives of people for the positive in this state yet. So we'll deal with that, and I'll probably have more to say about it next week. Which is interesting, because I've been here for 5 years, and I basically have the criticism every year, same criticism every year at the legislature. They don't look out for the counties. But Ed and I will take our story down there.
Yes.
And I know he and I, well, all three of us work very strongly on things that's good for the people in our county, as well as all citizens of West Virginia. Also, as you may have stated last week, I was one of, 14 people were appointed to go. 13 of us made it last week to the WIO, which stands for Workforce Innovative Opportunity Act national convening last week. There were 10 appointed from from across the state with an additional 4 from the state workforce and education departments themselves. And I thought it was especially good that 13 of us made it. And out of 900 people that were coming from the 50 states, 800 people made it. Some of them were a little late, but they flew in. The hardest part, having lived in D.C. for 10 years, the hardest part was basically being confined to the hotel because you couldn't get any place. The subways were closed down. The snow was 10 feet on the sidewalk, and if you were going to walk any place, you were out walking where the cars were, so that wasn't dangerous. So I had to eat in the hotel, so we were sort of stuck inside the hotel. One thing I want to report, which is a very exciting thing from our perspective, because this commission and the commissions that since I've been here, have been very, very progressive and focused on how we can work together better, how we can collaborate, how we can take common goals, common direction between one organization, set aside any differences, and work together for the good of the citizens. The Workforce Innovative Opportunity Act is takes that very position. That's what it's about. Barbara DeMary last week talked about it a little bit. Our Region 6, which makes up 13 counties, that is one thing, since I've been president there for now 3 years, one thing that I've talked, working very, very closely with every county in the region. We here work with the chamber, the economic development, Morgantown, Granville, Star City, Westover, any place we can to work together to try to advance and make things better for the county. We owe national convening, and this is just the start of the team, this member team, is to implement that across the United States. Our team's goal is to implement it in West Virginia. As a result of the meeting down there, the National Association of Counties, and my explanation of what I've tried to do in the region and what we as the commission has tried to do here, and that's one thing you got to keep in mind. As commissioner, I didn't do anything because I need at least one other person to support me. We did it. We all did it together, but we got the support and direction. I was asked by the National Association of Counties to present as part of a panel the WEO direction at the end of February at their national legislative conference in D.C. So I was going to attend as a legislative member of National Association of Counties, but I thought you two would appreciate the fact that
I'd like to congratulate you on such an honor. It's always, it's not just representing the county, but, your personal representation.
Thank you. Also, as a result of this, and this team will be trying to function. I was the only elected official that was appointed to this committee, and as such, we've got 7 regions in workforce in what's now called WEO. It used to be called WIP, Workforce Investment Board. Now it's WEO. There's seven of them, and the 4 that were represented down there have all asked me to come to their different regions and present to their elected officials. So I hope that's acceptable to each of the commissioners. As I'm presenting to the other 6 regions, that I will go not only represent Monongalia County, but help things come along better for the state. So it's exciting, and the whole focus is that we tie education, chambers of commerce, economic development, recreation, planning, whatever elements that make it better for a company to operate and have workforce, have people that can get and qualify for these jobs and what they need to bring in. That's the vision of this WEO Act, is that it all works together. If I'm a company and I'm coming here and I'm going to open up, and I talked a lot about the southern coal fields, because I used to travel through the southern coal fields in jobs past, how difficult they're having. We are got to all work together. All these entities got to work together with a common goal of having new businesses, business opportunities. People talk about jobs all the time. Well, you can talk about jobs all you want to. Government doesn't create jobs. All government can do is create an environment by which businesses can create jobs. That's what WEO recognizes now, that we've all got to work together and do that across the state. That, and everything's got to be integrated. Collaboration, collaboration, collaboration. That's what they kept talking about. And of course, that's why we were ahead of the game, because Monongalia County has been talking about that for at least 5 years. And we've built on it. With every commissioner that came here, we kept building on it more and more. So I'm really excited, because the things that you all have done, that we all have done together, is being recognized on a national level now. So I want to thank you for that continued commitment, and I don't want to any way say that it was something new. I know that each of you have devoted yourself to the same kind of collaboration and working together, and now we as a team can take that and expand it, and hopefully we'll change the entire economic climate of West Virginia. That's our ultimate goal.
Excellent.
Any comments on that?
I think it's a great honor, and I think it's for not only you, but for the community, and I agree with Ed. I think this is putting Monongalia County in the national spotlight.
And thank you for spending your time to do
Yes.
so as well, because most people don't really realize. People have asked, is this a part-time job? And
Yeah.
I think this proves that it's
Yes.
not.
Not if you want to do it right. Thank you. I appreciate that. Okay, we got an executive session, do we?
Move to go into executive session pursuant to 6-9A-42A.
Okay. Have a motion and a second. Let's take a 5-minute break. For the benefit of the people, do we have any idea how long this executive session will be?
15, 20, maybe.
15, 20?
20 minutes probably.
Okay, we're in.
Move that we move out of executive session.
Second?
Have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passed. We're out of executive session, back in the normal session.
I have a motion. I move that we rotate the park superintendents from the Chestnut Ridge Park.
No.
I'm sorry, oh my gosh, yeah, I'm sorry, I got the wrong one. The 4-H Park and Mason-Dixon Park.
Second?
Yeah, from Camp Muffley to
Camp
Mason-Dixon, we're just rotating the superintendents.
Yes.
Nothing else changes.
And this has been a practice when we hired them, that they were hired for any of the parks. And that's what I want to clarify.
Have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passed. Thank you. Any further,
Camp Muffley. I move for adjournment.
Second?
motion and a second, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
We're adjourned.